Should have done this before I went live. Good morning, everyone. Bear with me. I'm trying to find a product that I know I had. You know what? I bet you I know where it's at. Actually, I don't know where it's at. I got another one running around here somewhere, a matte primer. Anywho, good morning, love. Just having a slow start this morning. Sometimes, every once in a while, when we go to bed at night, our day hasn't ended in the sense that we had anticipated. And so we go to bed exhausted and tired, worn out from the events of the previous 24 hours. And that takes a toll on us. It takes a toll on our ability to be positive. It takes a toll on our potential to be the best person that we can possibly be. Sometimes it's inevitable. You can't control the situations and the events that have occurred to cause that to happen. But they happened all the same. They affected you. And you went to bed that previous night in a struggle. And you get up the next morning, like I have today, and you don't quite feel like yourself. You don't quite have that motivation and that energy that you typically usually would have. Something just feels off, feels weird. But you know what? That's perfectly okay. Because we're allowed to have a bad day. We're allowed to have a little struggle here and there. We're allowed to not be 100% every single day. This is why I'm actually still here on this live this morning. Even though I'm lacking my usual energy, I am struggling to find my positivity. It's there. I'm capable of it. It's just hard. And even though it's hard, we still have to get up and do the things that we need to do. We still have to get up out of the bed and do the things that are gonna help get us back on our feet and back on track. This is why I'm here. This is what I do. This is what I love to do. I love to engage with people. I love to speak about things that I feel passionate about. Whether it's brought on by life events, or just plain inspiration, or a moment here and there. I like to come up and I like to talk about it. I like to start my day preparing myself to start my day as high and as grand as I can make it. Because if you're going to start your day on a low point, you're going to end on a low point. If you strive to end your day on a high point, most likely you can manifest that. Most likely you can make that happen. Regardless of the previous day's issues, regardless of the previous day's events, regardless, oh, I forgot my forehead. Regardless of what has occurred, you can still pull yourself up and jump back into it. You have to put forth that effort. You have to put forth that energy to do so. I'm willing to bet that by the end of this particular live, I'm gonna be a little bit more energetic, a little bit happier, a little bit more ready for today, even though it started a little rough. But that's life. And this is how I have learned to manage my life and the things that happen to it and in it. You get up. You find things that work for you. Good morning, good morning. You find things that make you happy, and you focus on those. I am lucky enough that one of the things that make me happy is part of my morning routine. I have found stuff that starts my day in a good positive place, a good positive mood, a good positive energy, so that when I have bad days, I can still get up the next morning and try again. Because I know I'm going to get the chance to do something that I love. I know I'm going to get a chance to try to have the day again and to do it better this time. React a little differently than last. Maybe even come up with a new solution that I didn't have before. That's how you have to do it. You have to start each and every one of your days like that. Knowing that you're pushing to start it on the right level. That you are doing everything that you can to express yourself. To be your authentic person. I strive to do that every day. To be me. To show at every instant who I am and what I stand for. Do I make mistakes? We all do. Do I stumble in figuring out who I am and how to express myself in the most genuine, authentic way I can? Yeah. Because sometimes you're faced with difficult situations and you're faced with tough moments where sometimes you feel that you're trapped and you have only one outlet. You have only one thing that you can do to possibly make the situation stop. And so you struggle with what decisions to make and who to engage and how to engage with it and how to find that positive connection and get yourself back to who you are. We all go through times like that. A lack of judgment, a misreading of a situation, a misunderstanding of another individual, a mischaracterization a overall just bad start. But that doesn't mean they're all bad. It doesn't mean everything that occurred has to be somebody's fault. It doesn't mean that there's always a solution that has a desirable outcome. Sometimes we have to give up on certain things. Sometimes we have to let it go. But as long as you're being your authentic self the entire time, that's what matters. People can hurt you. People can do things. People can say things. People can engage certain ways that cause you to struggle. But as long as you're being your authentic self, you will overcome every time. Every single time. I do want to dig into being your authentic self a little bit more today. I want to really start to dive deep into what that means for me. Being my authentic self is being exactly who you see every time you see it. When you lie, you're not authentic. When you fake something, you're not authentic. This is why I'm not hiding away today, so that I can fake a positive attitude and a positive smile 24/7. I let you guys see me when I'm at my worst. I let you guys see me when I experience a strong emotional response. Because that's who I am. That's my authentic self. I work towards what I believe in, and I openly express what I believe in. I share my life and my world with people around me because I don't ever feel like I have anything to hide. I want to truly help other people, because the more people I can help and impact in my time means that many more people are going to have a much better opportunity at whatever it is that they're facing than they would have without me. I want my interactions with every individual in the world to be positive, to be a good connection, a good outcome. However, I cannot say the same for everyone around me. I can be my authentic self 24/7. I can show you what I think, tell you how I feel, express what I know through my own means, my words, my interpretations, my perceptions, my understanding of the situation. This is why I'm so open-minded, because I also know that I can be wrong. I also know that I can make mistakes. I also know that I'm not perfect, because nobody is. You know what perfection means? Perfection means everything is exactly as it's supposed to be. It's perfect. There is nothing wrong about it. It's flawless. But I challenge you to find me one single flawless individual in this world. One single person that has everything right, has never made a mistake, has never done something that even that own person regrets. it's an unwinnable challenge. Every human is different. Every person within our lives, our networks, our families has had a mistake, has chosen the wrong choice, has done something to affect the chance of being perfect. And so perfection is an unattainable challenge. I don't expect perfection. I've never expected anyone to be everything I ever expected or ever ever thought that they could be. All I can do is be my authentic self, so that when people meet me, they know that they're getting the same Juno every time, whether it's in person or through the internet, whether it's through a video or it's via telephone. Sorry, I'm just kind of digging into my eye there for a second, trying to get this makeup on. Again, something else we do that we think we have to be perfect at. I know many of you out there that have engaged in makeup, done makeup, put makeup on yourself. How many times have you beaten yourself up because you don't think it's right? You don't think it's perfect. But we strive for perfection, don't we? We try our best to achieve the unachievable. That's a lot of unnecessary, undue stress. Why would you purposely put yourself through that kind of situation when you know that it's not possible? Nobody's achieved it before. You can make amazing looks with makeup. You can do things that you may not have ever thought were possible. But are you ever going to make it perfect? Or is there always going to be something in you that says, hey, something could have been done better. This could have been done quicker. It could have been done easier. It could have been done smarter. You could have used a different technique that gave you a different result. You could have tried something new that you've never tried before and find out that you love that better than what you used to do. Nothing's perfect because everything can be improved upon. And that goes for ourselves as well. It goes for what we, our own selves, are capable of. So we continue to work and we continue to push and we continue to strive to achieve the unattainable. But as long as you recognize that, you're okay. You're in a good place. If you can recognize your mistakes and you can recognize the fact that you are always going to be developing, always going to be maturing, always going to be growing, always going to be adapting, changing, then you're okay. You're in a good spot. You are doing exactly what you need to do for you. And yes, you're going to continue to make mistakes. You're going to continue to put your trust in the wrong things. But these are just life lessons. That long, winding path of life that we experience things are going to happen that are out of your control. Things are going to occur that cause you so much struggle. But if you dwell in that, it's not going to ever improve. You have to make decisions. You have to make a stand for the things you want and the things you need to achieve for nobody else but yourself. This is where a lot of people get those misconceptions and the misunderstandings of how somebody is, because they themselves can't believe that an individual can be of that nature. That an individual is showing you exactly who they are. And the person that we're seeing is not believable for us, because we ourselves can't see how we would have made that choice, how we would have made that decision. So you have to be open-minded. You have to be willing to try and listen, try and understand the other person's point of view. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't mean that you are wrong. It simply means that you understand the thought process and the reasoning behind the decision. Because that's how you maintain not just an open mind, but an open heart. And be able to forgive, be able to forget, and be able to continue to love someone or something, even though it has caused pain. It doesn't mean you have to embrace it. It doesn't mean that you have to put up with it any longer. It doesn't mean that you have to do anything in that direction. It just means that you're being authentic. You're being real. You understand your point of view, but you have to also understand others. You might not have made that same choice, but you also know that that person has lived that different life than you. Ultimately, my network and the motivational speech that I give every day is literally the same message every day, just made in a different way, using a different set of words. I express how to balance your life. I express how to be communicative, how to express how to listen. But all of these things, their sole purpose and their sole goal is to help you become the most authentic you can be. For you to not hide, for you to not pretend, for you to not lie to other people over who you are, what you're capable of, and what you stand for. And in that reference, unfortunately, we live in a world where that leaves you open, leaves you vulnerable to those that may come in and try and take advantage. It leaves you in a position where you have to truly question everything about your environment. But there are both healthy and unhealthy ways of doing that as well. This is why life is so hard. There's always so many different avenues that you can take. But taking the avenue of love. Every time. Standing up for yourself, but also being open-minded and open-hearted and open to interpretation. People are not going to understand me. There's a number of people out there that just don't understand me. They don't understand the words that I speak, even though I speak the same language as they do. They don't understand my thought process, even though we may even have the same education levels or understanding of certain events that occur. We may even stand for the exact same thing. We desire the same exact outcome, but we approach it in two completely different ways. That's life. And I say, if you've noticed, I've said so many things as life. This is life, that's life, this is life. Because life is so big and so vast and so complicated. There is no one way to describe it. Just like all my videos literally have the same message. Always be your authentic self. I just tell you different ways of getting there. Different ways to show you who you are. Different ways for you to understand who you are. And when you can finally put down facades and you can put down pretending for other people or pretending just to get something that you want, life in general just becomes better. I started this live in a tough place. I started this live, what was it, only 28 minutes ago, in a position of pain, exhaustion, tiredness. But here we are 30 minutes later. I already feel better. I already feel that whatever happened, happened. And that I can move on. I can rebuild, I can refix, I can readjust whatever it is that caused me concern and issue the previous day. That I went to bed having a bad day. Because I know I can get up the next morning. I can try again. And this time, I have the knowledge of the events that have already happened. This time, I have the ability to make a more informed decision on certain subjects. This morning, I can look at the fact that yesterday is gone. There's nothing that I can do about yesterday. But I have the knowledge. I have the know-how. I have the skills. And most importantly, I have the support of other people who do understand. Other people who do listen. Other people who do know of some of the struggles that I have had. Because they've either experienced it also with me, experienced it on their own, or have knowledge of previous events that have affected people close to them. Everything that happens has happened before. Somebody's hurt somebody. Somebody else is meeting somebody new. Somebody else is rejecting somebody out of their lives. Somebody else is welcoming them in. All these things happen. Day in and day out. Person after person. Because even though we're all unique, we're all different. The only thing, every single human on this planet has in common is the fact that we are all living our own authentic lives on the same ball flying through space. We're here. We have no choice but to understand each other, because it really is not a choice. You have to at least try to understand each other. We have to try to get along, to get through life. Sometimes you cannot remove the hard things. Sometimes you cannot remove certain people from your life for one reason or another. Or sometimes it's not a fact that you want to remove that person. It's just that you can't remove them right now, or that you cannot do things without them because of how you're connected. Take a child, for instance. You can't just leave a child. You can't just forget the fact that there is another life that you are responsible for, even though that child may be causing you pain and struggle and distress. That even though that child may even be affecting your life on a daily basis in a negative way, you still have to care for that child because it is yours. They are connected to you in a way that they did not choose. They have learned and been taught by the environment that they have been exposed to, because, again, we don't take care of ourselves from day one. We rely on our support networks to take care of us. We have to. Children make mistakes. Children do things to purposely hurt, because children do not fully understand the world that they live in. They're still learning. Just like every human is learning every day. Every adult that is in existence right now is still learning something every day. Whether it's they learned that there's a new type of air fryer on the market, or they learned that there's a new type of car that makes it safer for them to drive, or that there's a new type of fuel that was cheaper than what they currently have access to, or that there is a network called GEM that is available, open, accepting, and waiting for you to engage with it, waiting for you to need its services. To those that may have caught a previous live, I referenced the fact that a support network is always in flux. It's always in motion. It's always growing and shrinking. It's always adapting and changing. It's always going to be slightly different than it was before. Because with every new addition, it adds something to the network. For every new person that has to leave, for one reason or another, it has changed the network. Your impact in the world is affected every time you engage with something. Support networks are a physical embodiment of that change. For every person that is ever connected to GEM in any way, even if it's just as simple as, I heard about it. that person is ultimately affected for the rest of their lives, because now they know that there is a network available. That there is a network that never goes away, even though it might change. That there is a place where they can go and find relative safety at the capabilities of that network at that time. Always be your authentic self. If you do nothing else in your life, be you. Be who you want to be. Show people how you truly feel. Express yourself in a way that people are going to see you for you from day one. Because that is how you find inner peace. That is how you identify the things in your world that help you and the things in your world that hinder you. When you're pretending, or you're hiding yourself, or you're keeping your feelings to yourself always, you're not letting people see who you are. You're not letting people experience you. What am I looking for? Oh, blush. Let's see what I can find today. I want to go with a brighter blush today. No, I want to stick with pink. What do you think? Nope, this is red. I'm sorry. I'm getting to a point where I'm like, not sure what I want to do yet. Be your authentic self. That is the message. That is always the message. That is how Gem started. Was for me to be my authentic self. Because if I hadn't started being me, Gem would have never existed. People would have never received help in the way that my content, my videos have provided. I would not have been able to find happiness in my own life had I not started being my authentic self. Being your authentic self doesn't mean you can do whatever you want. It doesn't mean that you have to be what everyone else thinks you are. Being your authentic self means expressing yourself in a way that makes you happy. There are people out there every day that claim that they are being their authentic selves. And their authentic selves are bad. The person that they are showing is not somebody that they want in their lives. The authentic them that is present isn't somebody that can benefit or help you on your particular journey. This is why we pick and choose our friends. When people come into our lives, we meet them, we learn about them, and sometimes someone who is your friend, you learn something about that you don't agree with, you don't like. You catch that glimpse of their authentic self that you just either A, didn't notice before, didn't see, never got exposed to. But that's okay. Because you being your authentic self can make choices. You being your authentic self can point yourself in the right directions and make decisions to ultimately take care of you and those around you. Every action that occurs in our lives is a lesson. Every individual that we encounter has the potential to teach us something. You just have to be open-minded enough to listen. You have to be willing to understand. And you have to be able to accept the knowledge that you could have been wrong. That you may have made a mistake. Got a little mascara in extra places. I'm gonna have to work on that today. So, as you start your day today, think about who you are. Think about what you stand for. Think about what you believe in. Think about how you express yourself to others. Think about the fact that you do not know all the information about everything. You may know a lot. You may be more knowledgeable than most. But just because you might have more base knowledge than somebody else may have a different perspective on that same information. The only thing black and white these days is math, and even that has been skewed in ways that don't make sense. Math used to be the ultimate language. 1 + 1 always equaled 2. Well, in today's culture, 1 + 1 doesn't always equal 2. 1 + 1 sometimes equals 3 or 4 or 1, completely depending on how people look at it and engage with it. Their interpretation of it is different. It might not sound right to you, but it's just a reflection of who that individual is, how they were taught, what they've been exposed to. My life is filled with struggle, pain, loss, but I I don't let that stop me. I don't let that put me in a place that I can't recover from. Because everything's rebuildable. Everything can be regained in one capacity or another. I can always learn something new through the experience. This is Juno. This is Jem. This is being my authentic self all the time. This is me expressing myself in the ways that make me happy. This is me doing the things that I enjoy. And I love sharing that with others. I love sharing the ideas and the concepts of the things that I've learned throughout my life, that they too can have these things. They too can be happy, even in amongst so much chaos and turmoil. Anyone who's followed me for any period of time knows that I have life struggles, just like you. I have my limitations, just like you. And I make mistakes, just like you. But it doesn't stop me from being me. It doesn't stop me from doing what I want to do, ultimately with my life. And if you haven't figured that out yet, I want to tell you what I want to do with my life, the ultimate end game when I get to the end of the road. I want to be able to pass on from this earth, this world, this plane, knowing that I have positively affected as many people as I physically could. That I have given hope to as many people as would accept it. That I have given love to anyone who has needed it, that I could provide. Someone might call it a white knight syndrome, a savior complex. And where I agree, that might have something to do with it. Ever since I was little, I've always wanted to be a helper. I've always wanted to help people finish whatever it is that they're doing. I loved helping my dad. I loved helping my mom. I loved helping somebody feel better. I don't know why. That's just who I've always been. Hey, Tabitha. I have always been somebody who has worked towards and pushed for making sure that everyone around me is happy. Because when everyone around me is happy, I ultimately can be happy. Because I helped to provide that. Because I helped them to realize the things that they've realized. I have helped them to be their authentic self. And that's worth it to me. That's a reason to do what I do. That's a reason to keep doing it every single day. That's a reason to, even though I have a channel right now that might make one person hear me, that might allow one person to see something they haven't seen before, allow one person to like it, for it to mean something. That's a positive impact. Because that's the best that I can do. Be present, be available, as much time as I can give to others. Because that is what ultimately makes me happy. To be able to guide others to a life that they can enjoy, to a life that they can understand better, and a life that they can endure. Not alone, but with friends and family. And I've been ridiculed, I've been accused, I've been told 1,000 times over that I'm kidding myself, that I'm lying to people, that I don't truly feel this way. But I ask yourself, why is it, I ask you, for those of you that think that way, why would you think that way? Why is it so hard to believe that one person in this entire world wants nothing more than for everyone to be happy? That is the earliest wish and the earliest dream I've ever had. As young as I can remember, that is, for some reason, what has driven me, what has kept me going, what has maintained me all these years, even when I was pretending to be somebody else. I still wanted to help. I still wanted to engage with people. I still wanted to make sure that everyone who ever encountered me had a positive experience as best as I could provide. But it wasn't until I found out who my authentic self was and started to express my authentic self did I find out how to do that. Did I find a way to be a positive light and a positive beacon for so many people? And I want to do that for more. There are billions and billions of people in this world. But as long as there's at least one who hopes and dreams and wants to see people happy, then for me that is still hope. That is still opportunity. That is still a chance for you to achieve what you want, to achieve your happiness, to find your authentic self. Because if one person can do it, there has to be somebody else who can too. There has to be other people who can see and feel and understand the exact same thing. There has to be more than just me out there who truly do care, who truly do show your authenticity, who truly do want nothing more than to help people instead of hurt, to love people instead of shun, to create a life worth living with other people who want to share their life with you. I've been extremely passionate about my network over the past few days, because in the past few days I have watched my network become something that I never expected it to. I've watched my network be exposed to situations that I never thought were possible. I've watched my network struggle, even though I know it's capable. And the best that I can do sometimes is just make sure I am present. I am here. I am available. And I keep Jim alive. And I keep Jim going. And I hope to affect each and every one of you in a positive light in any way I can. As long as I am capable. We don't see passion at these levels often. And when we do, it usually scares people. It usually makes them question. It usually makes them concerned. It usually makes them think that it's not possible for that to be. But it is. Passion, love, emotions, very strong things. And sometimes there's no containing them. Sometimes there's no knowing what they will lead us to and what they will cause us to engage with. I speak how I feel. I communicate the way I know how. I express myself the only ways I can understand and comprehend. And if some people don't understand that, I can't help that. That isn't my fault. And I know that. So I know I can move on, and I can grow, and I can expand without that individual if I have to. Do I want to? No. Do I have to? Yes. Because again, I am one individual out of billions. And as so long as there's one individual that has love and hope, unconditional love and hope, it means that we have a chance. It means that humanity has the ability and the capability to get along and to stop fighting, stop hurting, stop attacking, stop the bigotry, stop the racism, stop the hate. As long as one person believes it, it's a dream worth fighting for. That's what I do. I fight for my dream. I fight for what I hope for. And I fight with every resource that I have available to me. Thank you all so much for listening to me today. It was a hard day for me yesterday. Today I'm trying to start it on a better foot with my chin held high. With the same level of hope, love, and motivation that I've had before. To keep going, because I know it gets better. In your worst moment in your life, it always gets better. Have yourselves an amazing day today. Always be your authentic self. Always. And I will see you tomorrow.